What's going on, everybody? Good late afternoon, early evening for some of you by now, and we've got a practice report for Wednesday. Both teams, Seahawks and Falcons, we know what's up to an extent anyway. Obviously, the Wednesday injury report is always going to be the one that's most alarming, and there's some degree by which the alarms get reduced over the week, but it's what we got, so let's take a look. John Boyle posted it from both sides over on his X account. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the column that we care about. Let's walk through it real quick here, starting with the Seahawks side of things here on Wednesday. As you can see, 5 players did not participate, including a few that we were not expecting. And most of the time, this ends up not meaning anything by the time you get to game day or even the next day. But it's worth noting that the right side of the offensive line did not participate in practice today. Stone Forsythe was out with a hand, hadn't heard anything about that. Anthony Bradford was out with a toe injury, hadn't heard anything about that. So that's new. Also new, Laviska Shenault out of practice with a back injury. Now, I know what people are going to say, but whatever little you think of Forsythe, he's the best we got over there. Right now, he's the best that we can do. He is our third string right tackle. Most third string right tackles in the NFL would be terrible, especially in these circumstances where you have a team that leads the league in passing attempts by a wide margin. So I'm not going to pretend like this is addition by subtraction or a blessing in disguise. It's not. We are at least a week away and quite possibly more from getting anyone else back. There is an anticipation that Abe Lucas will be back by mid-season, but that's a ways away. And Fant could be back sooner than that, but they've already said it's not going to be this week. So Forsythe not practicing, that's not something that I needed to see. Our fourth string tackle would probably be what? Promote McClendon Curtis. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. You guys don't want to see it either. Now, Bradford, that's a little different, right? If Christian Haynes ends up being the guy who plays the full game against the Falcons, that's not necessarily something that I dread, right? Like I've said all along, pick one guy and go with it. That would be an excuse to pick one and go with it. So the Bradford thing, I'm not thrilled about it, but that's something that I think that could be survived. Forsythe, on the other hand, what do you do at that point? Whatever you do, it's not going to be pretty. Like don't think for 1 second that whatever you do, if Forsythe can't play this week, is going to be better than what you had. So yeah, not thrilled. Not thrilled with that. Now Trey Brown did not practice, which was expected. Reek Woolen did not practice, which was expected. Based on McDonald's words, and I wouldn't go that far in trusting that, I feel like Brown will not play this week and Woolen will, but it could very much go either way with both guys. I'm not committed to that at all, and nothing would really surprise me. I'm disappointed that Woolen wasn't able to make his way back a little bit more after having the mini bye week and having now 2 full weeks to recover pretty much from the injury, or by the time we get to game day it'll have been 2 full weeks. But yeah, this is not what I was hoping to see today, admittedly, but we kind of knew that neither guy would practice today based on the way McDonald was talking about them. So Shenault, I mean, he doesn't play a ton. He does some kickoff return stuff that we appreciate, and anything that keeps the ball out of D. Williams' hands is good, so we want him. But his impact would be obviously very limited to those areas. Limited participation now. Connor Williams, did not expect to see him in limited. Chest injury, that's a new one. Again, it's Wednesday. It could easily mean nothing. And honestly, he's limited, so it already does kind of mean nothing. But Connor Williams was actually starting to play pretty good football here. He's rounding into shape. He's starting to play better. I'm starting to be more happy with what I see from him compared to previous weeks. So we don't need anything to get in the way of his continued recovery as a football player. So didn't love seeing that. Boye Mafe still limited with a knee, not surprising. Byron Murphy limited with a hamstring, not surprising. And the fact that he practiced at all does indicate good things. Leonard Williams, knee injury, still limited. But the fact that those three guys are practicing on Wednesday obviously means positive things for their ability to play by Sunday. So, not really going to be worried about that. Not really going to be unhappy about that. Sounds good to me. Works well. Hopefully by tomorrow we can bump some of them to full. But all guys are on track to play, as is Connor, by the way, to be clear. And Jarek Reed, he may not play this week because his window just opened. I know some people were saying after the Rayshon injury that, oh, Jarek Reed might actually be the starter now. That wouldn't happen immediately. I don't think you throw him into the fire like that immediately. But he was limited today with the knee injury. And full participation was one guy, Julian Love, hamstring/quad. So no questions about his availability going forward. But it's worth noting that he's somewhat less than 100%. Now let's go over to the Falcons side of things here, where they have their own problems. They actually have a little bit more than I was expecting. Did not participate. They've just got three guys, but you've got Lorenzo Carter. He's not integral to what they do on that defense, but it's a concussion, so it doesn't bode well for his ability to come back. And you'd rather have him than not have him if you're the Falcons, of course. Justin Simmons with a hamstring injury, and we know about hamstring injuries. Those don't go away overnight. Not practicing. You can't love his chances right now. And, I mean, that's one of their better defensive players, him and Jesse Bates forming a really good safety tandem back there. That's no small thing. And another defensive star for them, Troy Anderson, inside linebacker with the knee, not participating yet. Worth monitoring as the week goes on. So if they don't have if they don't have Troy Anderson or Justin Simmons, that's a big chunk of their defensive ability off the field. And it's not really a defense that has been great so far this year, right? Their defense has real problems. They don't need additional things piling on and adding to the problem pile. Got a few guys who are limited. Bijan, but that's rest. Judon, that's also rest, so nothing much there. Antonio Hamilton Sr., cornerback, with a back injury, should be fine. And inside linebacker Nate Landman with a calf/quad is limited, should be fine. Although you don't like stacking injuries on top of other injuries, right? They're already missing one inside linebacker potentially. They don't need another guy working through stuff. And they didn't list anybody in the full participation category, so nothing really to say there. So we'll see where these injury reports go tomorrow, but both teams have problems. Both teams have issues. And remember, this doesn't include anything on IR, so the Rayshon injury's not here because he's on injured reserve and we know he's not going to play for sure for at least the next 4 games. Okay, so probably no more videos later today. I'll be on Twitch after dinner. More videos coming tomorrow. You guys know the drill. We'll know a lot more after the injury report tomorrow, but let me know what you guys think. This is the latest and greatest from both teams. See you guys later. Go Hawks.